Okay, we're going to take a little walk through my woods and the trails that we've created. Doing a little maintenance on the trails. Starting off, this is what I call my lumber yard. It's a combination of firewood, those big tarps there, and then boards that I've lumbered out of my own trees. So there's quite a bit of lumber here, but there's also a lot of firewood. So we're set for winter. So we'll walk down to the path. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. We created these paths, probably took a couple years to do it. This is the woods behind the house, so there's one set of paths here, and then on the woods on the other side of the house there's another set of paths. So here's the entrance to the side yard. Big old elm tree there, as you can see it. Right now number 5 on the Missouri elm trees, all American elm. And then come in on the path. As you can see, I'm clearing. There was a tree. I'll show you the stump in a minute, but it had actually fallen across the path all the way down there. It was quite a long tree, quite a big tree. And this is the last part of it. Well, actually there's some down there, but I'm not going to fiddle with that. That's next to my neighbor's. Probably just leave it there. This tree, this log here is near the top, and it's probably too small to lumber, but that's a lot of firewood in that, especially when you split it. And as you can see, this is the back entrance to the lumber yard, what I call my lumber yard. And there is the tree that I was talking about. So when it was felled, it laid all the way across the path, all the way down there. And I took the part out of the middle first, lumbered it last winter, and then I've been slowly cleaning it up. But it was huge, so big that I couldn't drag it out with my tractor, so I've got some pieces left. I'm going to use these for rounds. They're perfect for that. And continue on. As you can see on the edges of the path, I use just, I don't know what you call it, but it's just branches. They fall all the time. And so I use that as the marker of the path. I don't know, kind of feel like that might have been what they would have done in the colonial times. Basically use what you've got. So I call this Colonial Road. I don't know why I do that, but I did that, but I like, I've always had a love for history, especially our colonial history. And as you can see, so there's a stack of firewood and another stack of firewood that's out in the woods yet, old too. It's been here for a while. That's on the ground, and it's got to be put up so that it airs. The bottom ones are probably pretty well rotten, but I can use that for bonfire. We usually try to have a bonfire in October. The weather's cold, not really cold, but it's cool at night, and a fire with some good food and good drinks is really all pretty cool. So we're coming up to a part where it's a circle. It goes around these trees here, and then it goes off in that direction, and it comes out by the shed, and off in this direction it continues on. But as you can see, I've got a rather long white oak. It's been down for a while. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till winter, section it up. The parts that are good enough for lumber, that's white oak. So even though it's on the smallish side, I can get some nice boards out of it, and I'd like to have that. And then as we go around, there's a rather large red oak also laying on the ground. I think you can see it from here. Come up a little bit further. There it is. That's a red oak laying on the ground, and I'll do the same thing. I'll section it off. Probably wait till the winter. Gives me something to do on a nice day in the winter. Get out and work outside. It's always kind of neat. Otherwise, you're stuck in the house, trying to stay warm. In the wintertime here in Missouri, we have some very nice days. The average winter temperature is 39 degrees. So that means that sometimes we'll have some 0 days, but most of the time it's probably in the 30s and 20s. Depends on what time of the year it is, but anyway, so there's some good days. We don't have a whole lot of snow, We are out in the country here, so sometimes we do get a little more snow maybe than the metro area. But I was working on this area this morning. A tree had fell across here. It had the path all blocked up, so I've kind of cleared the path. Keep on going. And where I'm working at right now is, we're coming up to it, is there's a big old red oak that's fallen across, again, the path. The path is all down, this section of the path is all cluttered up, as you can see. I'm gonna have to clear it all out again. But it goes down along the lower side and then comes back up by those trees over there and then back up towards the house. There's also a path that goes off in this direction where the fallen trees are blocking that. I've got to clear that up. And then there's a path that goes up in this direction that, again, that oak is laying across the path. So we won't do all the paths today because I know this is getting long, but you can see I'm starting to work on this oak. I'm doing what they call bucking. I'm cutting it into sections. That section there is hollow. I can see that. You can probably see it too. This section here might have some good wood in it. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then there's another piece and another piece. I'm trying to get it out of the road, out of my path. So as you can see, there's that's called a leaner. I've got to get that down somehow. It's broken off from well, actually it's broken off from the tree right there. You can see at the top of it's broken. So that part came from that part and it's caught up on the other tree. So, there's just always something to do in the woods. Now I'm going to walk up this way and then we'll close it out as I get to the shed. Now, keeping another pile of wood that's been there for a long time, probably ought to clean it up, burn it up, use what's good on it, and then the rest of it goes back to, I guess, from dust you were made and dust you'll return, okay? So there's that oak laying across the path. Path goes down that way, and there's another white oak, but it's too small to get any kind of lumber, so that will be firewood. Actually, I'm thinking I've got so much firewood that I'm gonna see if I can find somebody who needs firewood, because I need to give some of it away. I'm just running out of room to keep it. But you can see even though there's dead trees all the time, there's lots of trees in here, woods, and it's a lot of oak, white and red, probably about evenly split. And then there's maples, lots of maples. This tree right in front of me, that's a cherry tree. This tree right here is cherry. Pretty good sized cherry tree. And then there's other trees that are in here are hickories. Let's see, there's hackberry. I think there's yellowwood. Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. But I like taking care of my trees. I like walking in the woods, especially in the fall. And I certainly it's really neat to be out here if it's raining just a little bit. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, but these are deer paths. Deer and turkey, and they go off in all directions. So the deer come here, and plus Max runs through the woods, comes back loaded with burrs. Started to try to get rid of the burrs, but there were just too many of them. And so these are deer paths. This is where I've been dumping my sawdust. Again, I'm dumping it in what I call the path. That area there used to look like that, but we started feeding the deer and the turkey there. And as you can see, they've cleaned the ground better than I could, so that's kind of neat. So we're back into the shed area. Back on the back side of my lumber yard. And this is another part of the path. that goes back. Remember I told you about the circle, or I showed you the circle? So I'm gonna take it to the circle. I've got to clean this up. It's a little overgrown. I guess I've been pretty lazy lately. But anyway, get it cleaned up. But the circle path, I'm headed towards that circle that I showed you. But the reason I came here, this maple tree here is one of the most spectacular maples you'll ever see in the fall. It's cream colored, and I love it. So, but also too, when I was making the path, we found that evidently somebody had a fire pit here. I've never moved those stones. I might soon, because I might want to incorporate them in my own fire pit. But anyway, so that's it.